Welcome back to the Movie Draft House. I'm your host, Mark, joined in person by co-host Jeff.
Hi. Welcome back, and if you look behind me, you can see the brothers RRR enjoying a nice ride through the town.
Oh, Beam and Raju.
Raji's teaching him how to ride the bike, and they stumble a little, but the bromance is in
That's
full
so good.
effect.
That's so good. Hey, can we just watch that movie again?
It's going to be a spoiler for the spoilers for the end of the year. My number one movie is this.
So far. Your number one movie so far.
That's true. We did watch Disclosure today.
Oh, but before we get into what we watched, we got to plug some music. And music this month has been brought to you by the satirical pop band Sex Brews.
Sex Brews? With a question mark?
Sex Brews. We appreciate them allowing us to use their music here on the podcast. The song is Ford Taurus, and if you haven't listened to it, what the fuck are you waiting on? It is a dope song. It fits the theme perfectly here this month. They're doing big things. Make sure you hit the show notes where you can find all the likes, follows, and or all the links to their socials where you can throw them a like, a follow, and a subscribe to all the stuff they're doing. Jeff.
Yes.
What did we just get done watching?
All right. So from 1994. Okay. Well, let's slow down.
Yeah.
First off,
Okay.
what month is it?
We're in the month of July.
And it's Erotic Thrillers.
Erotic
month,
Thriller month.
It's been the sexiest month of the year.
Yeah, for sure. Super sex.
So, and I picked,
Yeah, you did.
he's coming back for a second viewing this
Yeah.
week.
Yeah.
The Michael Douglas classic,
Is
Disclosure, starring Demi Moore, Donald Sutherland,
it's so classic? Neither of us had seen it.
Dennis Miller. I'd seen the movie cover.
Okay.
Now, I'm going to put myself out on a limb
Yeah,
here.
please do so I don't have to.
Would you call this an erotic thriller?
No, man.
Yeah.
We got nary one titty.
Somehow, I picked a movie with no nudity of any kind. And one kind of sex scene. So
It was more rapey than
it was much more raping. But it was Michael Douglas getting raped. But
yeah.
for a change. But so let me ask this question.
for a change.
Is this cold, warm, or hot?
Ah, damn. It's cold, bro.
I'm going to say warm because Demi Moore's killing that dress.
Her hair though throws me off.
And
man.
they say the word penis a lot. They use a lot of times.
Oh, and Dennis Miller says nipples.
He does say nipples that are like erasers. So I'm going to say warm, but I can't argue, right? So, and again, I just, to make you look bad again. No,
Okay.
I'm burying it.
Okay.
Never mind. No, I fucked up. Okay. Now, I will say, I don't think it's my fault
How so?
because the cover of the movie is like them. You don't
have to show. You don't have to show it. It'll be on the video.
I'm showing you though.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna have sex with you. He's like, no, maybe if you want to. And it's Demi Moore who's been in striptease. So I thought for sure
You should have just done striptease.
I should have. I don't know that it's a thriller, but I should have done striptease because
It would have fit the erotic part of the theme.
Yeah, is this a thriller?
I would say this is a thriller.
Okay, all right. So 50-50, not bad. And it is about sex. Like sex is at the core
Erotic,
of the
sure.
underlying
I understand.
story.
All
I
right.
don't think I'm
Listen,
completely off the mark.
You're taking the Mark approach to don't knock over your ring light, bro. You're taking.
I'm trying my best. Now, so this movie was directed by Barry Levinson, who I've not heard of, but he has directed, it looks like some kids' movies, which is crazy. He
weird.
directed Rain Man.
Okay.
Wag the Dog, another fantastic political thriller if you haven't seen it.
I have not seen
It's
it.
really good. It's Dustin Hoffman and not Robert Downey Jr. What's the other famous Robert? De Niro.
Duvall.
Robert Duvall?
You're asking me who are famous Roberts?
Is Robert Duvall famous? Who is that?
Robert Duvall?
Okay.
Look him up. You're on IMDb
I'm
right
not
now.
doing it. I'm on a tablet. It's too difficult to try to type. So we've discussed that this is not an erotic thriller.
Yeah. So we have not hit a
I
bat at 1,000.
I fucked up this month. it was going really well. Like we really enjoyed everything we
Yeah.
watched so far.
Yeah, yeah.
And now that doesn't mean we didn't enjoy this. Well, I can't speak for you.
I mean, I was in the same room you
So
were.
let's not give any spoilers
Okay.
and just say, and I'm just going to say, I had a lot of fun watching this movie.
Fun?
Yes, just fun.
Fun? Yes.
For the last 2 hours,
Okay.
we watched a movie.
Right. Yes. we
Did you enjoy yourself?
Did I enjoy myself?
Did you enjoy watching
Well,
this?
I'm here in the House of Draft with you. Of course I enjoyed myself.
Okay, let's. Did the movie contribute to your enjoyment?
You know what? I'm going to tell you. I'll tell you. Until the third. All right. Yes. Okay. Yes. Just,
Yes, he did.
Yes. All right.
Great. All right.
All right.
That's it for this week. It's draft night, babies. No.
We
So
no. We have to talk about this film.
it needs it insists on being. I'm actually excited because when we finish watching, usually because I'm in my 40s, I have to pee at that point. So I went to the bathroom, and as I'm peeing, I'm thinking I'm excited to talk about this movie
Yeah.
because it gives you a lot to talk about. I think
Sure.
it's an exciting movie to talk about. It's not like I Got the Hookup, which is just so bad and like crazy that you can't think of anything to say about it and you hate it so much.
Yeah. It was terrible.
And it's not like Clouds of Sils Maria where it's just boring throughout the entire thing. There's a lot of fun to be had in Disclosure, which is crazy to say about it, an erotic thriller, quote unquote.
Right.
So Michael Douglas is actually the victim this time. So in our previous film,
He's still not likable though. I hate how unlikable he is in these films.
I don't think you like Michael Douglas.
No, I'm fine with Michael Douglas. Although
I don't think you like his acting.
I just don't think there's anything special about Michael Douglas.
Like, you don't think he's fuckable. Because the man in the 90s
You're right. It's weird.
always
Weird.
hooked up with the hottest person in the room.
But weird. It's like
I don't. And so let's
He's-
have this
he-
discussion now
yeah.
and get at us. Like, generally speaking, we're not, generally speaking, attracted to men. I can tell you that Pierce Brosnan is a god. He's like, but at the same time, I can acknowledge.
Okay. He's played Zeus.
I can acknowledge like what movie or Raju
Beam and Raju.
Raju specifically is a very good looking man.
Yeah.
I can say
Yeah.
that someone is good looking.
Sure. Doesn't make you gay.
No, I don't care about that. I don't care if people think that. That's fine. Nothing wrong with that. What I'm trying to say is that, but at the same time, it's not I don't know. Edit all this out. All right. But what I'm trying to say is that I can still tell if someone is handsome or not. Right?
Okay, yes, right.
Pierce Brosnan is a handsome guy, is
Sure.
what I'm trying to say.
Right.
I never, ever, even when you watch older Michael Douglas movies, think, that's a good looking chap.
Right.
I don't get it.
I don't either.
Like, because,
don't
and
either.
even in this movie, like his attorney's like, you're attractive, maybe. I'm like,
Yeah, it's like, no. There's no maybe about it.
because in this movie, he hooks up with Demi Moore. In the last movie, he hooks up with that lady and then Sharon Stone. And then I think if you go through any of his 90s filmography, he's hooking up with some of the most beautiful women. And I think that maybe he's just got a really good agent.
Sure, yeah, he's got to. I mean, he's a film icon for what? No reason.
I mean,
He had a mullet in the 90s.
he had
Okay.
okay. Mullet
All right,
corner.
scale 1 to 10.
Yeah.
What would you rate his mullet?
Okay, so let's establish
Yeah.
a 1 is not a mullet, right?
Right.
And then a 10 is hard target, Van Damme and hard target.
Okay.
Okay. This is like a 7. It's not fully mullety. Like he
Right.
hasn't
It's-
shaved the sides.
Yeah, you can't like blow it out.
Yeah, but it's thick and rich, and it's got good body and flow and bounce when he's running onto the ferry.
I really enjoyed when he took a shower and it was wet mullet.
Oh, it's good.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I mean,
Who said this wasn't an erotic thriller? You did. Got to watch Michael Douglas take a shower. So, mullet, pretty good.
Okay.
Pretty good. It's
All right.
not the best thing I've ever seen.
No, right. Neither is Michael Douglas.
I still like Michael Douglas. Have you seen a performance of his that you like?
Wasn't he in Devil's Advocate?
No, that was Pacino.
Oh, that was Pacino. Damn.
So no, like Ant-Man is something he's recently been in.
He's old in Ant-Man.
Yeah.
So probably the most.
I mean, he still pulls Michelle Pfeiffer in those movies, right?
Right. He's got a really good agent.
Yeah.
It's probably Wall Street.
So you've seen Wall Street.
I have seen Wall Street.
I don't know that I've ever seen it all the way through.
I just remember it's been a while, but him being real cutthroat.
Yeah.
In that film, and he plays a villain type character very well. I don't really understand him playing these kind of like fucked up anti-hero characters.
Yeah. What did you find unlikable about him in this particular movie?
And this,
like, it's different in a Basic Instinct because he is an unlikable person. This movie, generally speaking, tries to portray him as a good guy. He's a family man.
Right.
He loves his wife. He does get tempted at some point, but he has the strongest willpower, and he stops mid-fillet and says, "No, I can't do this. I'm out of here," and he stops, right? So he's flawed, but he's not bad. He's generally supposed to be a hero, someone we can root for. So what annoyed you?
I guess how his family dynamic that annoyed me. Oh Jesus. Two, in his family dynamic, that was good. That was a wet
Good
one.
thing this is a cheap tablet. I just soaked it. Soaked myself too. Much like I've been all Erotic Thriller month.
Careful, that's not your couch that you're sitting on.
You don't sit on this shit. So let's give a little context.
Yeah.
This chair has a spring that rides right up my ass.
It's perfect for Erotic Thriller month.
Yes, you were saying about Michael Douglas.
I don't enjoy his family dynamic in this film. I do think that his wife is too sympathetic.
His wife is played by Caroline Goodall, who most notably played
She did look familiar.
Moira in Hook, which is Robin Williams' wife in that
Oh
film.
yeah. Oh shit! And you just reviewed that for another podcast.
Well, many months ago, but that's why I know.
Right. I don't enjoy his family dynamic. I don't enjoy just kind of like most normal people, I think, would be just fed up at this point with everything that's going on to them in this film.
Yes.
And like he just happens to just very cool. We never see him lose his cool.
Yeah, he does.
Which part?
So he gets into several arguments with his spouse. They always tend to resolve, though. And then, crack one open. He then loses his cool with Demi Moore.
But like not in the way
largely he's actually fairly calm. But when he finds out that he didn't get his promotion and that he's probably losing his job, he does explode in that meeting with his team.
Yeah, it's very subdued. It's not.
He literally yells. He yells, "Fuck you, Dennis Miller."
I would yell, "Fuck you, Dennis Miller."
All right, let me say something about Dennis Miller. I don't like his acting because it always feels like all he's doing is his stand-up.
Yeah.
And it felt that way in the other movie we watched him in, Bordello of Blood.
Right.
But that movie had a lot more boobies in it. So
should have watched that for Erotic Thriller month.
We should have watched that. We already watched it. But.
Right. Anyways, so okay.
Let's talk about. So, you're not a Michael Douglas fan. I like him. When he's in a movie, I'm usually pretty happy.
Okay.
Let's talk about the technology.
Oh God.
So this movie was made in 1994. I don't know. I guess it's around the same time.
It's got to be present day.
Yes, because the technology is that advanced.
I would imagine that movie was made to represent present day in that moment.
No,
Got to be.
no, their present day. Yes, I thought
Yeah.
you meant today.
No.
Like that movie is set in 2023.
No, that movie's set
Okay.
in 1994.
Yes, it is.
Right.
And so there's like, it starts off pretty subtle, right? It's like, oh, you got a cell phone. It's so small, but it's not. And he's got a charging dock.
Yeah,
That's actually kind of boss.
Yeah, what?
Because his phone has like a curve. And when he puts his phone in it, it all kind of goes flush. It's kind of cool.
It was kind of cool.
Yeah. And then he has like, he can put names in it and shit. It's got like a dot matrix display. Anyway, spend too much time on the phone. So he works for a tech company.
You also work for a tech company.
I do. But he's in the computer business. And they say this several times. And it always feels so 90s.
Yeah.
Where computers are sort of this mystery still.
Right.
Right. And I think that they are for a lot of people, but they were even more so back then. Right. And they had to dumb things down and all that. And see Jurassic Park when Lex is on the computer. It's a Linux system. I know this. And it's swooping down over the files. And you can see, well, we're going to get there. And
I very much enjoyed his first webcam conversation with the
Right.
guy in Malaysia,
because
and how crisp the video was.
I think that was fabricated because I don't remember video calls really getting good until like 10 years ago.
Right.
And even then, I don't think they were that great.
No, they only got good because of the pandemic.
Well, no, because people were FaceTiming and shit before that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And this was still kind of grainy.
And
But-
Skype was a thing.
Yeah. So, I mean, it was probably, I would say 10 years ago is probably safe. But it looks pretty good for,
Right.
you know.
And then did you see his camera on top of his computer? It was
No.
it was this little thing.
Oh, wow.
That's how I knew this was a fake movie.
Oh, it wasn't the fact that it's a film.
Yeah, that's how I knew. That was the moment.
That's the moment.
That's
gave
what it
it
did for
away.
me. So
There is, I don't want to go into it yet. It's the best part
all right,
of the movie.
okay.
Well,
so
hold on. but there's
because we have
something-
to talk about the eroticism of this film.
Okay, yes. Let's actually talk about that.
And we already rated the eroticism here.
Sadly,
I'm a cold, you're warm. It's not a hot.
yeah.
But what do you think of Demi Moore? All right, what do you think of Demi Moore?
I'm generally not a fan.
Right. Okay.
She was actually in, she made an appearance in Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent.
Did she really?
She was briefly in that, yeah. Yeah, if we go back and listen to the episode, we talk about it. You're like, oh, I didn't know that. You do what you just did.
Huh.
So you forgot. Still, you don't listen to me, which actually is not a surprise. So I generally, I mean, I can't think of that many movies I saw her in where I'm like, honestly, I think I've just seen Striptease, and that's about it.
Well,
And like,
you haven't seen G.I. Jane?
no.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What other movies?
I don't hate Demi Moore.
I don't hate her
I
either.
don't dislike anything she's done, but I've never really engaged with her catalog that much.
Now that I'm thinking about it, I haven't either.
Ghost. She was in Ghost. Was she
She was
the lead in Ghost?
Yeah, she was.
I've seen Ghost.
Roadhouse guy. He's dead now.
Yes.
What's his name?
Patrick Swayze.
Patrick Swayze. All right, so let's go ahead and get canceled.
You're gonna get canceled. I'm not.
Do you find Demi Moore attractive?
Oh, that wouldn't get you canceled. I think in this movie, yeah, she's got these great green eyes. I've always, generally speaking, brunettes is more my taste anyway. So I think so. She's got this dress she's killing. I said on last week
Yeah,
that I'm a legs guy.
yeah.
And,
She is very leggy
she's
in this
leggy
movie.
in this movie, so I would say so.
Okay.
And I think this is this might get me. I won't really, but I think this is pre-implants, and I prefer.
Wait, she got implants?
Judging by Striptease, I could be wrong, but
When did Striptease come out? 96? 97?
I'll verify. But I generally speaking, I prefer a more natural look.
Yo, if she got implants, she goes up a notch.
It's
That's not
what's
gonna
so
get me
comforting
canceled. It's not gonna get
is
me
that
canceled.
you're always going to be worse. And that makes me feel good.
Saying that somebody goes up.
So
because
what about you? Like I've said now how I feel
Okay.
about her. Generally speaking, as an actress, haven't seen that much. I do think she's attractive in this film.
I don't think she's and it might be the hair for me in this film.
It is 90s hair.
It's terrible.
It looks
like every frame she's in, her hair is just.
It looks like a nun's habit.
Yeah.
It goes up and then back down in a row.
It is ridiculous. And I'm like, if she did
was
not.
in Indecent Proposal. That was one that was on my short list. But go ahead.
But I just don't. In this movie.
Striptease is 96. This is 94.
So that had to have been her next film.
No, there's like 5 in between.
Oh, shit.
Scarlet Letter now and then. The Juror, Muppets.
Okay. Muppets. But I did not find her attractive. And then honestly, the film could have had something to do with how she's portrayed. Is because she is portrayed as a very domineering female figure, and so that might have something to do with it. She's always wearing like a what? And
You don't like strong women, is what you're saying.
no, it's not that I don't like strong women. It's that like when because my wife is a very strong woman. She's a very she keeps me in line.
Someone needs to.
But I don't know what it was. The hair. I think it's the hair.
You didn't like the hair.
I did not like the hair, and because I didn't like the hair, I could not get behind anything else. Because one, and like this is a knock.
Here's a picture of her in Decent Proposal, a film I probably should have picked.
Okay, yeah, attractive.
A little
there.
better.
Yeah. I'll put that one up on the screen. But like, because there's zero nudity in this film, you kind of have to gauge the person's attractiveness by what they're wearing.
Oh, Mark.
And this is a film about two
you're not
people
able to
accusing
tell
each other of
if
sexual
someone
harassment.
Is attractive unless they're naked. Well, we're gonna find out what you think of me right now. No, God no.
I did not. This is Erotic Thriller month, bro.
I already admitted
Right, I know.
my fault. Unlike some people, I admit when I make a mistake.
When I make a mistake, I also admit it.
That being said, totally unrelated. Go back and listen to the whatever the fuck that was called. Hell or High Water?
Yes, that is the film.
Okay.
However, it's one of the best westerns I've seen in the past 2 years.
It's not even that good.
That film's good.
It's
Get out the
all right.
fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here.
It's all right.
Anyways, I don't know. It's just Demi Moore just doesn't. I guess it just didn't do it for me in this film, and so like I'm like, oh, okay. Now, good thing this film was entertaining, is because if it was like just the two of them kind of playing grab ass with each other the entire time,
Yeah. So, okay. Now, I started this movie when we finished recording last week and turned it off because I remembered, hey, I can't watch this because I'm going to watch it with Mark in the House of Draft.
right?
And I watched like the first 20 minutes, basically up to when he gets raped.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, okay. But that first like 20 minutes is a whole lot of Alchemax and the drives. The
Yeah.
drives aren't working.
Yeah.
Someone call, what about the drives? And I'm like, that's when I started noticing, about the time you noticed this was a movie, I started noticing that this might not be an erotic thriller because they spend a lot of time. He gets on the webcam. He's like, what's going on with the drives? And he's like, the drives aren't good. And he's like, shit. And he goes into Demi Moore's office. He's like, we're only getting 120 milliseconds on these drives. And she's like, fuck. And they just can't handle the fact that these drives are not operating. And that's when when that happened, and I was watching it and I turned it off, I'm like, shit. Mark is going to hate this. I'm going to hate this. My button came undone. And
That whole sequence you just did, cinematic masterpiece.
Great.
Everything about that. I'm so glad we're recording because I don't think you can recreate it.
I probably can't. But so that thing, it kind of drove me crazy. And I really thought I really not only missed the mark, no pun intended, but also selected a film that was going to be really boring.
Listen, midway through this film, we got close-ups of math equations.
Yes. H equals -2. And
we had long division.
We
all right?
watched Dennis Miller work on computer chips in an erotic thriller.
So this movie takes a turn.
It takes the best turn I've ever seen in any movie of all time. It
got me to sit up.
Okay, so let me say before we get to the best part of this film, which we mutually agree on.
Right.
Up until then, I'm already entertained. I'm still like into the story. He's got this mysterious person who's trying to have
right. I am too.
A friend, and I'm like, who's a friend? Is that a friend? Is that a?
Well, he's getting emails from anonymous person
called a friend, and so like you're like, who is that? Is it his assistant? Is it this other person he works with?
Is it his daughter?
Is it his daughter who's like 4 and knows how to check the best looking email app I've ever seen? But so even before what happens, I'm already like, this is fun. I'm enjoying this movie.
Okay.
And then they drop the bomb on us. They announce about halfway through the film that one of the thing they're working on this merger of 2 companies, and Donald Sutherland runs it. And the product they're working on is called Alchemax, and it's a VR basically where you can look at files. It's pretty fucking stupid.
And there's an AI client
called Angel who's modeled after like the squirreliest guy in the office.
Who they missed an opportunity to get Seth Green to play that part.
Oh, that would have been
right.
Good. That would have been good. It probably would have been funnier and not as awkward though. Like this was really awkward.
Right.
Like the guy in the scenes is appropriately kind of weird and squirrely.
Yeah,
like, computer people were depicted back then. So he's the Angel, which is basically Siri in this thing.
Right.
So they establish that, and I was
it's a weird scene, is because it's just a demo.
Yeah.
And you're like, why are we seeing this demo of this weird
virtual
fucking
reality? Now, this is in the 90s era of Lawnmower Man, which is something I wrote down because of this movie. We need to do virtual reality month at some point. And
you already reviewed the best virtual reality movie.
Which one?
Ready Player One.
The movie is fucking horse shit. If you want to watch a good one, and I say that in quotes, starring Denzel Washington and Russell Crowe, it's from the 90s, called Virtuosity. Watch that shit. That'll change your life.
I'm trying to think if I've ever seen it.
It's like one of the first times I've seen Russell Crowe on screen.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. Really good.
I'm down for virtual reality.
If you like shitty movies, which I do. It hasn't aged well. But anyway, so like Lawnmower Man and computer animation is really just kind of getting its start. And this movie, this erotic thriller that throughout the bulk of the film is pretty terrestrial. It's pretty much like attorneys,
right?
And social manipulation. Very entertaining.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
It just goes off the fucking walls. And so Michael Douglas's character overhears a conversation between like the HR guy for the company he works for and what's her face's character,
Demi Moore's character.
Demi Moore's character, stating that hey, she's lost her sexual harassment case. She's lost the case. But they have a way to get out of it by framing Michael Douglas into this presentation and setting him up where he looks like a buffoon.
Yeah, and then they can fire him and get out of this contract. Right. And
so he overhears this conversation, and then somehow puts two and two together over the math equations. He looked at the math. They show the math equations at this part, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I can go into virtual reality and get all the files that I need."
Yeah, so he's been locked out of various systems, and
Because they're going to fire him. Makes sense.
And so he's like, well, actually, if I go use that virtual reality horse shit, so they haven't even merged the company, right? So there's a head. So Donald Sutherland is the head of the company that Michael Douglas works for. And then there's this young guy, something, whatever, who knows?
Who cares?
Dr. Butts.
Yeah.
And he is the head of the company they're going to merge with. And he's been allowed to hold on to Alchemax, and he's got it in his hotel room, which is the fanciest hotel room.
Yeah.
China glass. Like, there's room for a standing VR.
Yeah.
In this guy's hotel room.
A large standing VR.
Like, it's got a bowl you run in. It's got the goggles, and it's got the stands with the lights for tracking, and it's kind of cool looking, to be honest, for in a 90s sort of retro tech kind of way.
I mean, back in the 90s, we were playing on the Virtual Boy.
He puts the helmet on, and he goes to a virtual, essentially file explorer. Like, if you have a Windows computer in the bottom left, click the file, and you can look at your files.
Yeah.
It's basically the most souped up version of that ever.
Yeah. And he's
so good.
He is able to, and the graphics in this thing are amazing. For 1994.
Okay, all right. I was about to say what?
But he's able to go and look at the files that he wants. He's taking his sweet fucking time. He burgles this hotel room.
Yeah, and they're downstairs, and they're literally an elevator.
Now I will tell you that
an elevator ride away from getting
this whole sequence of them going back up to the room and him taking his time. I'm like, shit. I'm like gripping the season.
It's
like,
classic.
Get the fuck out of there.
It's good.
Get the fuck out of. And so he's looking at the files, and then the most asinine thing happens is that Demi Moore's character. In wherever she's at, she's nowhere in the same area.
Right. Like, he's in this hotel, she's in the office building.
She logs into the program, and it pops up this anonymous figure, but it has her face.
It's like Vectrix, which is just line segments for the body, and then her head is a picture.
Yes.
It looks ridiculous.
It is ridiculous. And so like he's like, whoa.
She appears in front of him while he's thumbing through the files.
And he's like, oh, she's in the system. So he knows what's happening.
Yeah.
That she's also looking at some of the shit that he's looking at. So he finds the files and he finds the video, and it's pretty much her admitting that they're going to set him up and all this.
Right.
It's damning evidence against him. And then she starts deleting everything from her end. And the most ridiculous aspect of all of this is not even ridiculous, but the most ridiculous aspect is that she is like, her AI figure is creeping up on him. Even though she can't see him, he knows that she can't see him. And it's just the movie paints it like she's going to stab him in the back.
Out of this. So what really needs to be said is this is in the context of this film.
Yeah.
Right? In this movie, like, had this happened in the aforementioned Virtuosity, Lawnmower Man, anything like that, it probably wouldn't have taken me by surprise as much, because we know we're in a virtual reality, future tech sort of film.
Yeah.
This is a movie about sexual harassment in the 90s.
Right.
This movie, it accentuates sort of this male panic almost of women having the ability to say, hey,
that's the major theme of the film.
It's very much I think a male fear perspective of I slap her on the ass, and then, like, it's this, I don't know how to put it, but it does feel like it's a male piece of propaganda almost of women shouldn't have this much power.
Well, Donald Sutherland even says it at the end of the movie. I shouldn't have been focused on breaking the glass ceiling.
Yeah.
With a female, CEO or whatever she is. And I should have just been focused on the best person possible.
Right.
And it's like, get the fuck. Anyway.
So you got that. But they do, like, establish some things that I think are somewhat good to say. Like, his assistant is like, he rubs my shoulder sometimes.
But I don't think he knows he's doing it.
well, I don't think he knows it's a problem, but it does make me uncomfortable. And so I think there's a little bit of, maybe you could say, okay, that's good. Maybe we can be more conscious and watch what we do that we think is casual, but we don't mean it any other way, making someone else uncomfortable. But generally the message of the movie is sexual harassment is bad, but we shouldn't give people the power to file sexual harassment suits. I don't know. It's weird. But in the context of this sexual harassment film, we have possibly the best virtual reality file exploration scene in the history of cinema.
I will say that you're probably correct.
It's really good. It put the movie over the edge for me.
It did. As soon as that happened, I was like, what the fuck? I even said, what the fuck out loud. I was like, what the fuck is happening?
He's wearing the goggles in the real world, and then he's got goggles on in the simulation. Why?
He has to put on this glove, but he also has a glove on in the simulation.
Yes, exactly. I've not done a lot of VR, but usually if you look at your hands in VR, they look like hands.
Just regular hands. Not gloved hands.
Why would they add that? I don't know.
Listen, the budget for this movie was wild.
I'll look it up. I can't imagine.
I don't know. I don't know what else to say about this movie. It's the
now. I guess go ahead.
I would say the thriller aspect of it is pretty good.
I got no numbers. Oh, here we go. Box office. Okay, and I just lost it. It is a thriller. Were you thrilled?
I was thrilled. It's because different parts of this film, I'm like, oh shit. The whole email,
like,
sent by a
friend.
Who is a friend, right? And so I thought the film does a very good job of keeping you guessing on who it is.
They do even like a red herring that I really liked, where like they'll say this like slimy lawyer guy is like, I hope you still think of me as a friend.
Right.
And you're like, oh shit. And I even went, Mark, it's a friend. Did
Right.
you catch that? And I liked that. Yeah.
Well, and so I did enjoy that aspect. I did enjoy the them painting Michael Douglas's attorney, who is a female, as a super competent, cutthroat type female character.
His attorney?
Yeah, his attorney.
Yeah, I like her character a lot.
For this film, which has a lot to say about females in the workplace and females just in general, I thought, like, and it wasn't even, like, I mean, perhaps the writing. This film, not the film, but this film is based on a book by Michael Crichton.
Right, which surprised me as well.
Right, and I didn't realize that until the credits, at the beginning of the film. But he goes and hires this lady as his attorney after reading a newspaper article about her being just real cutthroat about sexual harassment.
Yeah.
And she's
made a name for herself.
Right.
They often say that she's a big likes getting in the newspapers, and it's kind of like she's known for this.
Oh, wait, and one line of the film is that if she could change her name to Nightly News or something, she would.
Yeah.
Or whatever it was. So, like, the film paints her as this, oh God, he hired, a thorn in our side. And I like that. I like that the film just establishes right off the bat that, hey, she's not somebody to be fucked around with. And so I thought that was good. And throughout the film, her character is the same. She never gets painted as like, oh, she fucked up or she didn't do her job.
She's a really good attorney. In this.
Yeah, she's very competent in the film, and so I enjoy that. And even, the film paints the attorney for Demi Moore or the company or whoever attorney he is, slimy. Just kind of just sleazy character. I enjoy that.
He very much makes, like, the way he manipulates things feels very realistic. The way he manipulates the truth, and corners people. I think it's really well done too.
Yeah. So
So there is a twist. Who is a friend? Who knows? So they reveal
I still
it,
don't
and
know.
you still don't know.
No, I do.
This is the most bullshit reveal. Like the whole time, I thought maybe it's the slimy HR guy because he's trying to play both sides, but he wants to protect his friend, and he did do that a friend line. And then
I was actually serious when I suggested it could be his 4-year-old daughter.
I would have put had they done.
She
that,
sent him an email at the end of the film.
Yeah,
and signed it a family.
Yeah. Maybe she is. Let's leave it up in the air. But the movie pretty much tells you that it's actually the son of this coworker that Michael Douglas has, who they both have mutual respect for each other. They were both up for the same promotion and didn't get it. Demi Moore got it instead. And it turns out that he is. And he's not in the movie.
No.
He's mentioned, my son goes to Washington State.
Yeah.
And then you hear later on, he's like, how's your son? He's great. Great.
Right.
And then he appears in the end of the movie.
End of the movie.
And it's like, I'm a friend. Really? And you're like, that sucked. That was stupid. Because it does what Scream 3 does that I really didn't like, where they have someone who's barely in the movie. Mm-hmm. And so there's no way you could predict who it was because they're not in the movie.
Right.
Oh, Prom Night. Perfect example. Like, we didn't even know who that guy was when they revealed the killer of Prom Night.
Yeah.
And so
God, I hated that movie.
I know you did. You said it was one of the worst movies we've watched.
Right.
And so I just kind of felt the same way about that reveal. It was a little underwhelming. I think that they could have done something a little more fun with that. And it's one of my few knocks against what is otherwise a really entertaining film.
Yeah. So, all right. Jeff, what do you recommend this one?
I'm going to go 4 for 4 and say yes. I loved watching this. I had a whole lot of fun. And isn't that what movies are for?
Yeah.
Aren't they meant to entertain you?
Yeah, right.
And it entertained the shit out of me. I had a really good time.
Okay.
And if you haven't watched it, I think if you're in the right mind frame, you're going to enjoy yourself.
If you're in the mind frame, you're going to see a bunch of nudity. Don't watch this one.
Right. Like if you find the podcast and you're going through July 2023 in the back catalog at some future date, and you're like, oh, they're doing erotic thrillers. Let me go ahead and watch this film, Disclosure. As we tell you at the end of this episode, don't do it. Too late. You've already watched it, but our bad. My bad, specifically.
Right. I, too, am going to recommend this.
We've done it, folks. I'm really, really surprised because
the third act does it for me.
Okay. So we have now established for the first time in the history of this podcast,
Draft House history,
the perfect month. We went 4 for 4. Maybe, it's maybe not perfect because I didn't quite hit the theme.
Right.
But we have both recommended every film this month.
That is correct. For different reasons. Not all.
Which it should be, right?
Right, but not simply because there's,
So let's recap it.
Yeah.
So we started with Benedetta. Man, that seems like ages ago, doesn't it?
It does seem like a long time
Which
ago.
is a wild movie. And we both recommend it because it's off the hinges.
Right.
Then we did Basic Instinct, which is the baseline for what the genre is.
I agree. Right.
Right.
Yeah,
and it is still fun and exciting, has a better twist at the end.
Yeah, no, it's another one that keeps you guessing.
It's really good.
Yeah.
Then we watched Voyeurs, which was also wild.
Right. Just simply unexpectedly wild.
Yeah.
Really, kind of like this turned out being.
Fun for different reasons.
Right.
Fun for different reasons. And then this was just batshit. And I'm really encouraged, Mark, because I feel like this is a turning point, because the reason I like movies like this.
Yeah.
We've watched several movies that I like in the same way.
Okay.
Where you've been like, no, this is bullshit. Drive Angry, being chief among them.
I just thought that,
I'm not trying to talk you out of it.
No, but Nicolas Cage wasn't very good in that movie.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm excited. I'm happy. I'm pleased that you recommend
Yeah.
Disclosure, but it is not what I thought we were going to get.
No,
at
no.
all.
I didn't either.
I was way off, and I'm happy about it, to be honest. Like, had we got just another erotic thriller, it would have been, we probably would have been like, yeah, but Basic
No, if
Instinct-
it had just been the sexual harassment drama at the
well,
table,
even if we got the TNA we wanted, right, and it's just another Basic Instinct, right? I would kind of be like, yeah, Basic Instinct kind of did that better,
Right.
or whatever. This, you can't even compare them. They're
Yeah.
not in the same genre.
no, they're not. Right.
This is a misrepresented. This movie was mismarketed.
It was in 1994, so I don't know.
Yeah. Well, when you look up things about it,
Yeah.
and today you're like, if you search erotic thrillers, it comes up, which is why I
Right.
saw it.
Right.
So
You said the box art got
it's
you thinking that, oh, okay.
the catchphrase on the poster
Yeah.
is "sex is power."
Okay. Yeah. One sex scene and not even really a sex scene.
A rape scene.
Rape scene.
And it's actually one of the first ones I've seen where I wasn't that uncomfortable because it was the guy.
Which probably speaks louder to
Well, I
problem
mean-
in today's society.
I mean, that's true. That movie does say that.
Anyways.
It's draft night.
Oh yeah, it was over. Hey, so we both recommended this one. We went 4 for 4 in the month.
I think we should pack it up.
Pack it up, but we can't because we're drafting, baby.
Okay.
And Jeff, what's the theme for August?
The theme for August, and it will become abundantly clear very shortly why, is movies where actors play multiple roles.
Yeah.
So we established we used the movie Back to the Future as a great way to establish what we mean.
What are the rules?
The rules. So in Back to the Future, Michael J. Fox goes back in time and meets himself.
Right.
That's not what I mean. That's still the same character. Michael J. Fox is still playing Marty McFly, but in
But if he was playing Michael J. Stocks,
it would work. What, stockbroker Michael J. Stocks? But like in the third movie, he goes back in time and he meets an ancestor. What was his name? Seamus.
Yeah.
That would count because they're two different characters. So that's the rule. We said. Did we poo-poo on clones? Did we say no clones?
you did say no clones.
Okay. No clones, but as long as it's two different characters with two different names. Another thing I kind of said no way isn't like in the movie Split.
Different personalities.
Multiple personalities. Yeah. I don't think that counts.
Right.
Okay. You should go first because
Well, she also mentioned that August is a 5-week month.
Right, and so we have a mutual pick.
We do have a mutual pick. So.
And I can't remember what it is now, so you'll surprise me because I've totally forgotten.
Okay. All right. So
Nope, I remembered
it. He just went to sleep. It was
just
like
woke back
narcolepsy. Anyways, am I going first? You going
You're
first?
going to go first because
All right.
I picked this movie. You're up.
All right. I want to start us off with a bang.
I'm excited. Last time you said that, I think you picked Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, and I love you for it.
I don't know how on board you're going to be with both of my films.
I
but
already know.
I think you're going to be more on board with
Don't
this
worry
film.
about feeling bad for me because in
Because
about
I know, right?
a few minutes.
Right. So for the first week in August, we're gonna watch from the year like 1996, I think.
96.
Yeah, I don't have it in front of me, so
I'll look it up,
Yeah.
but I'm excited already.
we're gonna watch Mars Attacks.
Hell yeah. Great choice.
And
I don't remember anyone playing multiple
the
roles.
person playing multiple roles in that film, Jack Nicholson. He plays the casino owner and he plays the president.
Fair enough. I haven't seen it in a long time. The aforementioned Pierce Brosnan is in it, looking handsome, and I haven't seen, and Michael J. Fox, to name a few.
Yeah.
So
He dies very early on. In the
yeah, a lot of people do because it's a movie with too big of a cast.
right.
So great choice.
What year?
96.
96. God, good.
Okay. In a turn of events, I'm going to 2015.
Okay, good. Thanks.
It's a film that runs for 2 hours and 12 minutes. It's directed by Brian Hegland.
Okay.
And the actor in question is Tom Hardy.
Oh,
He plays twin brothers.
okay.
In the film Legend.
Okay. I've not seen it. I've heard of it.
I've heard of it, and I've heard it's not great, but it's Tom Hardy is a pretty good actor usually.
Yeah.
And I like they're mobsters. I like mobster movies. I haven't seen one in a little while, but I do enjoy them. Legend, Tom Hardy.
Tom, I'm always on board with a Tom Hardy film. Okay. 2015, you say? All right.
This way so you don't see my screen and try to take a peek at what the fuck's about to happen to you.
So, I don't remember I think it was like mid 2000s this film came out. It stars Hugh Jackman. So, we're gonna double up on
double
some
dipping on Hugh. We love Hugh Jackman.
We do
on
love
this
Hugh
pod. If you
Jackman.
go back and listen to one of our favorite movies,
He's so good.
The
Greatest
Showman.
Yep.
Just we love the guy.
Yeah. We're gonna watch, and I think it's a Darren Aronofsky.
No.
We're gonna watch.
What year is it?
I think it's late 2000s, maybe.
Are we watching Pie?
No, that's a 90s film. We're gonna watch The Fountain.
I don't know this. Okay. I do hate Darren Aronofsky, but
You only hate him because you hate
being
Jared
depressed.
Leto. Okay.
No. I've seen enough of his films to know I don't really
What?
like his work.
Oh, The Wrestlers. The other
I do
one.
like the wrestler. That one I
Right.
actually like.
Right.
But I don't like being depressed. And at the end of that movie, I was depressed. So fortunately,
What year? All right, look The Fountain up. What year did it come out?
Okay, but I'll be picking up the
Watching you type on.
this.
He's typing.
I have to two finger it because I am a skilled typist on a computer. But on a computer on a damn touch screen, I'm an old ass man. 06.
06. All right.
Who was in this? Hugh Jackman, who we love. Rachel Weisz, who was in one of my favorite films, The Lobster. I love The Lobster.
She also plays multiple roles in this.
Oh, great. Okay. Can't wait to find out that you missed the theme when we watch that. Great.
Okay.
Now, staying on the topic of twins.
All right.
This film came
Parent
out.
Trap. God, I hope it's Parent Trap.
Which one? The OG?
I don't care. I just hope you picked one of them.
It doesn't star Lindsay Lohan.
Damn it.
And it doesn't star whoever's in the other Parent Trap.
Fuck.
Want to take a stab at the year?
Oh, it's got to be 80s. God, it's got to be 80s. 90s? Oh, right. Okay. All right.
1991.
Okay.
Runs for an hour 50.
Oh, that's a little long for the 90s.
It stars Jeffrey Lewis, who you've probably seen
Never-
in other movies.
Never heard of him.
It stars Bolo Ying.
Are we watching a fucking Van Damme movie?
It stars.
If you put a Van Damme movie again in the Draft House.
It stars Bolo Ying, who was in Bloodsport.
Right, I remember.
It stars Bolo Ying in one role. He's got to fight off a pair of twin brothers,
This fucking guy.
played by Jean-Claude Van
This
Damme,
fucking guy.
in the 1991 classic Double Impact. We did Double Team,
This fucking guy.
and now it's time to do Double Impact.
I don't know how many times you've reviewed Van Damme films on
This'll-
multiple podcasts.
This will be another. This will be the second time because I did this one on. I love this. This is one of my favorites, and I've seen it many times.
Are you ready for me to shit all over it?
I know you're going to, and I do not care because I get to watch a Van Damme movie and talk about it.
Oh, God.
We should say, oh yeah, our fifth one.
It's
Hugh Jackman.
What year is it from?
God,
I thought you had it pulled up.
no.
Anyway, I think it's from
06.
Okay, another 06. Okay, directed by Christopher Nolan, who we're big fans of. Okay, I'm a big fan of Christopher
I'm
Nolan.
on. He's fine.
He's okay.
He's fine.
We should watch Oppenheimer.
I do want to watch that. It looks good.
Movies about things that happened during war but have no war scenes.
That sounds like a recipe to fuck up. Because
I
you know
haven't
me, when we did movies that don't take place on Earth, both of us picked some shit that happened on Earth. One of us picked a movie called Wall-E, and the E stands for Earth.
I didn't realize that when I picked it. I didn't realize it.
Most of that movie is on Earth.
Anyways, we're gonna watch The Prestige.
Fuck yeah.
Largely regarded as one of Nolan's best films.
It's one of the ones I really like.
So you've seen it?
Oh yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I love it.
Okay.
We're not going to end up in having any problems. I love that.
Well, that's why we kind of mutually
come
agreed
over,
on it.
hang out, watch
Right.
The Prestige,
Right.
record a podcast about it, draft
Yeah.
some shit that doesn't actually fit the theme.
So I'm excited about that. It's probably going to be our best film of that month. Write them down. Did you write them down? All right, so we're gonna go Mars Attacks.
Okay,
week
hold on.
1.
Shit, I don't use this thing that much.
What did you pick? First film.
Okay, Mars Attacks. I did Legend. You picked that Aronofsky
the
film,
Fountain,
and then I picked Jean-Claude kicking everyone's ass.
and then
We'll have to write this down. Where's your pencil?
It's over there.
Okay. We'll remember, hopefully.
I will.
If you tune in on week 2 and it's something different, we forgot.
Anyways,
It's not like we have it recorded to go back and check.
No, that's true. All right. We just made a big deal about it.
Anyway, YouTube. We're on YouTube, so you found the YouTube channel. But
you're watching us on YouTube right now.
Maybe. If you're listening to the pod, hey, how's it going? I usually prefer audio pods as well. But if you want some exclusive content on the YouTube channel, we've got our 5-minute reviews. Mark has released one as of this recording. I'm going to record some.
Yeah.
And we have very different tastes in films. So
that's correct.
If you want like modern movie takes, that's your guy. Me, I'm going to find some more shit on Tubi and tell you about it.
This is right up Jeff's alley.
I am so excited. It's basically 30 Days of Van Damme, but I can just grab whatever shit I want.
Right, and you don't have to edit it. I'm editing all
It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's great. It's win-win. You can find us on all the social media channels. So make sure you subscribe to the YouTube, please. It would do us a favor. And
like, comment, subscribe.
We're on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, all at Movie Draft House.
Oh, we can actually remember it. It's not Das Movie House.
DOS House.
Remember those days?
I do remember those days.
Fuck.
Those are the good old days. Anyways,
Dumbass.
if you want to follow Jeff on Twitter and get all of his latest takes on all the latest podcasts that he's doing, you can find him on Twitter at Podcast by Jeff.
That's right. I have another podcast called Chronologically, where we look at full filmographies of. I've done Hitchcock. Eric joined me, and we did Spielberg in season 3, which starts this coming Wednesday. If you're listening to this when it comes out, gave up. We're going through the complete filmography of M. Night Shyamalan, and it's a much more mature Jeff over there. He doesn't belch in the microphone. It's me playing 2 different characters to bring it back around to the theme.
Anyways, we want to give another shout out to the Sex Brews.
Love the Sex Brews. The Sex Brews deserve all the credit in the world, because without their music,
we don't have this theme.
We would not have done the theme.
Right.
Erotic Thrillers.
We don't have 4
and we don't
for
have
4.
we don't go 4 for 4.
Right. Okay. Yeah, it's good. It's good shout out.
The only thing that tops this to give us a new goal is to go 4 for 4 and hit the theme all 4 weeks.
That's true. Okay. Yeah. You make sure you're hitting the show notes down below. All the links. They're doing big things. We appreciate them, and we'll have new music for you next week. If you're listening to on strictly audio, we won't have music on the video or on the YouTube, simply because YouTube doesn't like copyright shit. And when we don't want to be...
We've found out what everyone says about YouTube is true.
That is true. Yeah. So, Jeff, do you have any words of wisdom?
Edit this out.
He's doing this right now.
Fuck.
Words of wisdom.
Alchemax. The damn drives. Shit. Fuck.